everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Mindy Banks. I'm the Flip Flop Chef, and today I'm going to show you how to make homemade hummus in Pampered Chef's Deluxe Cooking Blender, and then we're going to turn that hummus into a beautiful hummus board. So you're going to love these ideas, and I can't wait for you to try them yourself. If this is the first time that you're watching one of my videos, please hit the subscribe button while you're here, and also go to theflipflopchef.com and join the recipe community at the top of the page. You'll have access to thousands of recipes and a weekly giveaway. So let's go ahead and get started on this hummus. We are going to make this in Pampered Chef's Deluxe Cooking Blender. If you're not familiar with this product, I do have an entire playlist with so many videos that feature this blender and some of them that go in great detail, including a cooking blender class. So this is a true cooking blender. It has a built-in heating element, but you can use it just like a regular blender for your smoothies and your frozen drinks. So I'm going to take the base, the blender container off the base, and we're going to add our ingredients to the blender. Then we're going to blend it all up, and we're going to use a tamper to kind of make sure that it all gets pushed together and it gets nice and smooth. So we're going to use a can of chickpeas, and I'm going to show you Pampered Chef's can opener. This is a smooth edged can opener. So the difference in this can opener and a traditional can opener is that this one doesn't leave a jagged edge on your can. It just releases the glued seal so you can peel it right off. So let me show you how to use this. We're going to do this 2 times. So if you don't catch it the first time, you'll be able to get it the second time. So I like to start at the front of the can so that I know when I've gone all the way around, because unlike a traditional can opener, it's not going to really be obvious when you've gone all the way around as far as looking at it. Now you'll notice I just set that up against the edge of the can and I twisted, and it attached the can opener to the top of the can. I'm going to twist till I bypass my starting point, the front of the can. Once you use this a few times, you're going to be able to feel the tension release when you bypass the front of the can. So I didn't even have to look at it, I felt it, so I knew when I was all the way around. At that point, you're going to turn the handle counterclockwise to release the can opener from the can. There's a button on the side right here. When you press this, it activates a little pincher claw on the other side where you can just pinch that lid right off. And there's no jagged edge on the lid that I just threw away or the can. So I'm going to drain this using our small stainless steel colander into our small glass bowl. The glass bowl and the stainless colander are both sets of 3. So you get 3 different size colanders and 3 different size bowls, and it's really great because the colanders fit inside of the bowls. All right, I'm going to pour these beans in. Excuse me. And then for this part of the recipe, the instructions, which are found in the cooking guide for the Deluxe Cooking Blender, say to reserve a 1/4 cup of the liquid from the can. So I'm going to just pour in 1/4 cup of this liquid, and then I'm going to discard the rest. The next ingredient is we're going to drain a can of Great Northern beans, or cannellini beans, white kidney beans. They may be listed differently by different brands. Put this up against the edge on the top, just like we did before. You're going to twist all the way around till you bypass your starting point, and if you start at the front of the can, then you'll know when you've gone all the way around. And then you'll feel that tension release, turn counterclockwise, pop this. Every once in a while you might get a can that needs a little extra work, but usually it does just fine. It doesn't say in here to rinse these beans, just says to drain them, so I tend to just follow the recipe there. We're going to pour these in, and we don't need to reserve any of this liquid. So I'm going to set that aside. Now the next ingredient that we're going to add is we're going to add 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. And I went ahead and measured that out in this cute little stainless steel scoop. And this is a relatively new item at the time of recording this video anyways. We're going to also add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. This is our Easy Read mini measuring cup, so some of you may have the other pieces that go with that. The next ingredient is we're going to add 1 garlic clove. So we're going to peel it, but we don't have to mince it or chop it or slice it or anything because the blender will pulverize that for us. So let me get a clove of garlic, and we're going to take our garlic peeler, which comes as part of a set. So I'm going to show you the slicer, but we're not going to use it today. It comes together. So we're going to take this garlic clove, put it inside of the garlic peeler. You're going to press down just enough to put a little bit of pressure, and you're going to roll this back and forth. I bet you guys can kind of hear that papery skin when I was rolling it. It just rubs that right off. So I'll show you the slicer, but we don't really need this. It comes in 3 pieces, so it comes like that. You get all of these in a set, the garlic peeler and the slicer. So you're going to place this piece here, here, and it will hold up to 4 cloves of garlic, 2 on each side of that little divider. I'm just gonna drop this one in there, put the top on, and what you're gonna see, I'll show you, is you get these super thin, I bet you can't even see on the camera, super thin slices of garlic. I'm just gonna toss that clove in there because the blender will take care of pulverizing that for us. But I'll give you another tip. You can also use this to slice ginger and turmeric. You can also put almonds in here. So one of the things that I like to do is I love amaretto ice cream. And you can take some chocolate covered almonds, like the powder coated, and put them in here and grind those over your ice cream, and it's delicious. And there's like shavings instead of big pieces of nuts, so they don't get stuck in your teeth, and they don't freeze really hard like whole nuts would in ice cream. So just a little extra tip. All right, so we've got the garlic, and then we need to do a tablespoon of sesame seeds. So I've just got a jar of sesame seeds here. We're gonna take 1 tablespoon. We're gonna add a teaspoon of salt to this. Now the salt that I use is our coarse Himalayan sea salt. It's a product you can buy from Pampered Chef, but I've ground it up in our blender. So I just take a whole bottle of our coarse sea salt, put it in the blender, and I set it to the grind setting, which is actually the same setting that we're gonna use today for our hummus. And it just grinds it up into a fine powder rather than a coarse powder, and it gives great flavor. So I added that in here, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the lid on here, and I'm gonna move my tray out of the way so I don't knock anything off there. And then I'll be able to pull the blender a little bit closer to me and be able to show you this a little bit better. So we're gonna attach this right on here, and I'm gonna turn this so that it's facing me, turn it on, and then take this little cap out of the top here. I'm gonna place our tamper. Oh, I think I was supposed to pour the reserved juice in there. Let me just make sure. Well, it says reserve a 1/4 cup of the juice. Let's see. It's been so long since I've made this. All right, we're gonna wait and add that in if we need to. Put the tamper in the top, and then I'm gonna turn this to the grind setting and press start. And when the only time you're gonna tamp is when everything kind of separates from those blades in the middle of the jar. This is gonna be used to kind of push all of that food back into the blade so we get a really nice, smooth hummus. So you guys hang tight, okay? Let me turn, maybe you can see it if I turn it this way. There we go. About 20 or 30 seconds. I don't think we need this reserved juice, so I'm going to check it out and see if I like the consistency, but you want it to be a spreadable consistency, and I think that's what we've got here. So it looks really, really good to me, so we're going to go with that, okay? So let me set this aside. Our blender does have a heated wash cycle, and what that means is you're able to put 3 cups of water and 1 drop of dish soap in here, put the lid back on, and set this to the pre-programmed heated wash setting, and it's gonna clean your blender container for you, and it makes it so easy for you to use this over and over and over again. You're gonna just rinse, pour out the soapy water, rinse it, dry it off, and you're ready to go for the next time. So let's set this aside for the moment. What I'd like to do is preheat my deluxe grill and griddle, which I have over here, and let me just make sure that I really like, yeah, I like this consistency here. I'm gonna move my blender base out of the way so that I can move that grill a little bit closer to me, because we're done with the blender. Let me set it aside. And I'm gonna pull my grill just a little bit closer here, and we're gonna preheat this grill on the on the grill setting, and I've got 2 grill plates in here. You can choose grill or griddle. I like the grill because it's gonna leave grill marks on here. We're gonna heat up some naan bread, so basically like steaming it or grilling it. I have this set at 5 minutes. It's a default setting. I'm gonna let that just go with that. It only takes about a minute to grill the naan bread, but we may do more than 1 cycle, and so we've got time on there for at least 5 cycles, which I don't even have that many pieces of naan bread to do. But just so you know, you can always add time. There's an add 30 seconds button. So like right now, set to 5. Once this is preheated, I can add time to it if I like. Let's get a board. You can choose whatever board you might have on hand. Today I'm going to use this beautiful wooden cutting board. And you could use our Lazy Susan, you could use our pizza peel, you could use any of our entertaining platters or stoneware pieces. Get really creative with this. There is a groove on one side, and I think what I want to do is use this on the side that doesn't have the groove, okay? So I'm going to wipe this off. I got a little bit of, I think, chickpea juice on there. I'm going to put the, we're going to spread out the hummus right here on the board. Then we're going to cover it with some really delicious toppings, and then we'll serve it with the grilled naan bread. What do you guys think so far? Sounds delicious, right? All right, so what you're going to do, I'm going to just place this in the middle, and then if you wanted to do it a little bit differently next time, you could actually put this maybe like on one corner or on one half, and then do your dippers on the other half. You don't have to make this exactly the same way that I'm gonna make this today. So we're just gonna get all of our hummus out, and this is the long skinny scraper. It was designed for this cooking blender because it gets in around those blades really, really well and around the edges. So we'll just keep scooping this out, and then we're gonna spread it around. All right, I have a little bit left in there, but I will scrape the rest of that out a little bit later on, just for time's sake. Then we're gonna take a small spreader. You could use the small spreader or the all-purpose spreader. Just something that will help you sort of spread this out into a more thin layer, okay? Now I have another video on my channel showing you how to make a butter board. Now, this is a lot more healthy than the butter board. So the butter board is a great idea if you are wanting to do something creative to serve your baked bread, and this is definitely a more healthy option for you. So we're just gonna spread this. I may have gone a little bit too far that way because you wanna leave space for your naan bread. So we'll just spread this. I'm gonna bring a little bit of this over here so that it's somewhat of an even layer. Don't worry too much what it looks like on the top because we are going to decorate this, so to speak, with our ingredients. All right, I'll set that in there, and then we're gonna set this aside a little while. Now, we're gonna put so many different things on here. I will say, one thing that you might like, if you like olives and feta cheese, you could add those in. That's totally appropriate for this hummus board and very Greek. However, I don't like olives and I don't like feta cheese, so I'm not going to put those on there today, but those are just some other options, and the olives will definitely add a little bit more color to this. But what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take our lemon garlic rub. You could choose Greek rub, lemon garlic rub, or you could just do salt and pepper, but I'm going to just sprinkle this right on top of the hummus, and we're just going to kind of layer this. So this is going to give that hummus some flavor. So you know when you buy your hummus at the grocery store already prepared, you have different choices of options of what flavor it's going to be. See if I can slide this over without pushing off all those other things over there that are out of view of the camera. We're going to need a little bit later on. Okay, we're going to take a red onion, and I want to show you Pampered Chef citrus and onion peelers. There, you get 2 in the set. You pick which color you want for your citrus and which color you want for onions, and that way you always know which one is for which. But I will tell you, if you wash these in the dishwasher, it really doesn't matter which color you use. There's not going to be any flavor of onion left behind the next time you peel your orange, but we do give you 2 different colors if you want to use them, designate them for a certain thing. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut your onion, the top and the bottom off, and then you're going to take your onion peeler. So I tend to use the white one for onions, and you're just going to pull from top to bottom like this, and then you can take the other side and check it out. It's really easy for you to peel this right off. So we've got our onion, and we're going to julienne or French fry cut this one in our rapid prep mandolin. We're going to use this on a couple of things. I'm going to set this a 1/4 cup of chickpea juice around. I don't think I'm going to need it for anything. Probably just throw it down the drain, but I'll set it aside for now. Now, this is really cool. Our rapid prep mandolin gives you slices. You have 8 different thicknesses. We also have a perfect French fry cut and a perfect julienne cut. So if you like shoestring French fries, you could use that perfect julienne cut and make the most beautiful French fries ever. I have a video on my channel that goes into this product in great detail. I'm not going to spend a ton of time going over all the features, but you can watch that video and check it out a little bit more. But just so you know, on the back, there is a dial. So you have a slice, the perfect, or excuse me, julienne and a French fry. And then you have 8 options to choose from. If you want that perfect French fry, you're gonna go just between the 7 and the 8. If you want the perfect julienne, which is where I wanna go actually, is between the 3 and the 4. I think that's what I wanna use. Pull this little kickstand out. You can use this little container to catch your food. And by the way, our grill is preheated, but I'm gonna wait just a little bit before we use it. So y'all are gonna have to listen to that beep just a little while. Now, we're gonna, I slid this little door down right here so that I can fit my little food chute, okay? This has a food pusher, so your fingers are never gonna get anywhere near the blade, so you don't have to worry about cutting yourself, and you'll be able to just easily push the food closer and closer to the blade as you chop. Now I'm gonna cut this in half. I'm probably only going to use half. I will say onions, I like onions, but I don't love raw onions, and so I'm the only one in my family who's gonna even eat this, and so I have to make things the way that I like them, right? Now, for this, I'm just gonna press down and pull this up, and that brings that blade up so that I can actually use this to chop. So check this out. And I actually think I want this a little bit more fine. So I'm gonna go, let's see, make that a little bit smaller. There we go, that's really what I'm looking for. I'll show you what we've got here in a second. Oh, I think I got it off of I bumped it off of the julienne. That's okay. It says pampered, not perfect, but this is what I'm going for. We'll use the julienne cut on our cucumber. I had it on, I bumped it. Oh no, I moved it to slice by mistake. That's why it didn't look right. All right, so we're just gonna sprinkle some of these red onions around here, just like this. I'm gonna go for the thinner ones. All right. Then I need to wash my hands. This onion's gonna make me cry. I try not to do that on camera, right? Okay, so now we're gonna, let's see, I'm gonna grab a little container to put the rest of these onions in. Let's see. Ooh, that onion is getting to me. All right, so I'm gonna scrape these off, and we'll use these in another recipe. This would be great for like fajitas or something. I'll set that aside. You see, I didn't even need even a half of that onion. All right, the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna stick to our rapid prep mandolin, and we're gonna take a cucumber, and I'm gonna just cut it in half. I'm not gonna use even half of it, just like the other, and we're gonna put it in, and maybe this time I'll do a little bit better. I'm gonna make sure that this is on the julienne. There we go. And let's see what we get on a 2, see if we like that. So, yeah, that's what I want. All right, I'll show you what we've got in just a second. It's hard to see. And I can use the rest of this in a salad for later. But check this out. You've got these really nice shreds of cucumbers. So we're gonna sprinkle those around on top. And you can do more or less toppings, and you don't have to use the same toppings that I'm using. You could use other toppings. And we'll set those aside, and then we're gonna add some artichokes and some tomatoes. I'm gonna just put this a little bit out of sight there. And let me wipe my cutting board off because I've got some cucumber juice there. All right, you guys with me? What are you so excited about so far? Which toppings would you put on your hummus board? So we've got some tomatoes. I have some spinach. We're gonna try that in the herb mill. I've never tried that in the herb mill before. And then I've got some artichokes. So let's do the artichokes next. We're gonna put some of these in Pampered Chef's manual food processor. So I should have brought my jar opener. There we go. All right. I'm gonna take these tongs because I don't want a lot of juice, but I don't want to drain this off because I'm not gonna use a whole bunch of these. I'll probably use the rest to make like a spinach and artichoke dip. So I just need a few because this is a small surface here that we're working with. So you don't want to have too many excess ingredients if you don't have something that you're going to use them for right away. So that'll go in the refrigerator. I'm going to chop this up. Perfect. All these pieces are dishwasher safe except for the lid, so I always like to set it aside somewhere else. And let's use, well here, I'll just use my fingers. It's easier, right? So we're just going to sprinkle some of these over the top. Then we're going to slice some tomatoes. This is going to be so, so delicious. So you're taking your hummus to the next level when you do this. Okay, and I have a few extra in there. And now we're going to take our tomatoes. I'm going to show you a magic trick. We're going to use our close and cut. So this is a really cool product that you can use to cut really thick chicken breasts in half, or you can butterfly them by not going all the way across. You can also use this to slice tomatoes, grapes, mozzarella balls, and you can even use it on regular bagels. So bagels and bagel halves. So I'll go ahead and fill this little tray, and we'll use some of them on our board. So for this, you want to push down, but make sure your fingers aren't hanging over the side. It's important to push in the middle and then lift up just enough to get that knife blade in, and then push back down. And you're going to slice straight across, and you have these perfect tomato slices. And I'm going to just add those around. Whoops, that one's a little bit softer than I want. I'm going to toss that one. Add our tomato slices. I didn't do a very good job. I told you guys what to do, and I don't think I did it very well. I must not have pushed completely flat in the middle. So let's try again. Let's do a few more because I want you guys to see this. I've only done this 100 times, probably 500 times. So press in the middle, lift up just enough, and slide across. There we go, much better. So these are like perfect halves. This gives this so much color. And a few more. It doesn't have to be like perfect or anything. You just want to have some color on there. Okay, so I've got some extra ingredients. I think I'll be making me a Greek salad, minus feta, right? I could grill some chicken on my griddle for that. All right, so we've got almost all of our ingredients. Let's see where I want to put these. I'll just set it over here. I think I'm done with my cutting mat. And then I'm going to see if I can shred some spinach leaves. I actually have not tried this before. We're going to put some of these in our herb mill and see if we can get them. I'm just going to pull off these stems. If I was doing like cream spinach, I wouldn't worry about the stems. But just so that it's pretty, I don't want any stems on the board. So we're going to stick this in here. There's a little weighted ball. Yep, this works great. So this is going to add just a little bit more color to this. You can use fresh herbs if you wanted to. Basil would be nice, I think. And I've got a couple leaves that don't want to cooperate. All right, so now we just need to drizzle this with a little bit of oil and get our naan bread ready. So while we are working on this, let's go ahead and grill some of the naan bread. So I have mini naan bread. You can get the big ones or the little ones. Let me show you. See how many I can fit on here. Probably 3. And I'm going to close this, press the wheel, and let those cook for 1 minute. And let's see. Oh, I was going to brush them with oil. It says pampered, not perfect, right? Let's brush these with a little bit of oil. Whoops, that was a way more than I needed. All right, so we're going to brush these with a little oil. See if I can flip these without burning myself. All right. You don't have to use the oil, but this is just going to add a little bit more flavor, and it'll mark it up a little bit too. All right. Close that. Set this aside, and let me grab another cutting mat that's clean and dry because we're going to need that. Okay. Love our flexible cutting mats. They come as a set of 3. And if you don't know this, I am a consultant with the Pampered Chef. So if you see something that you like, I would love the opportunity to help you purchase it and help you get that in your kitchen. So if you haven't already told me in the comments, let me know where you're watching from, and also let me know what you think about the hummus board so far, because I always love hearing from you guys. All right, so yeah, a little bit longer because I opened that up and added the oil after that 1 minute, so kind of messed up my timing there. But we're almost there. You can see this smoking a little bit. That's totally normal. It's really steam from steaming these. You see how those are gonna kind of puff up a little bit? Let's do it just a little bit longer. A lot of things I do, I kind of go by how they look. So let me grab another pair of tongs, since I use those in, let's see. I used the ones I had in the artichokes. All right. Yeah, that's what I want. So I don't want them to be really crispy. I want them to still be warm. So I'll do another round of these in a minute. Here, let's go ahead and do it. I'll set this aside. Let's go ahead and do it. So we will brush the oil on here before. We'll do three more. And then I'm going to take this and brush it on the tops, close the grill for about another minute. All right, I'll set this aside. Now, if you needed to keep these warm until you're ready to serve them, you can put them in our tortilla warmer. Just pop them in here, and it's going to keep them warm. They may not be quite as crispy. They do have a little crisp to them right now, but they will stay warm and will be delicious. So now what we're going to do, and I put this hot naan bread on a flexible cutting mat, so you're going to see that this kind of puffed up. You probably should do this on like a polyethylene cutting board, which we do have those. And I'm going to just gently, they're still hot, so I don't want to burn myself, cut these into triangles. You could cut them again if you want to, but I like this this size. So let's get our hummus board, pull it around here, and then you're just going to start layering these all around. This smells amazing. I always wish you guys could be here for the eating and the smelling. You don't have to put these all in the same direction. You can get real creative with them. And then we'll add that next round on the hummus board, and then we'll be able to dig in. Oh, that's perfect. You guys see that? So let's pop these off. Actually, let me get a different cutting board. I think it'll be better to use that. Let's see. I love this one because it has a little groove around the edge, and the heat isn't going to bother this. I didn't ruin my other cutting mat by any means. All right, so I'm going to just press cancel and turn this grill off, and then take our pizza cutter. And these are really hot, so I'm going to use my little tongs here. Oops. Just to hold those in place so I'm not burning my fingers. And then we want to drizzle this with a little oil. Hopefully I don't forget to do that after I cut these. It's amazing how fast I can forget something. I tell you and then I forget it and don't do it. I did it out of order because our grill was ready, and I try to maximize the time we have together so that I'm not holding you guys up and you can get on to the next video that you want to watch. So we're going to take some of the garlic oil, which you know what, I have a little bit more in here. So I'm going to just drizzle right on the top, and that's going to give this a little bit more flavor. Tiny bit more in here. I find that it's better to drizzle from a container that only has a little bit in it than drizzling from a container that has a lot. That way you don't accidentally over pour like I did before. All right, get a little oil on there, and then let's place these around our hummus board. So what do you guys think? Are you excited about this? Are you planning to make this? What would you add that I didn't add? I always love to hear what you would do differently, because everybody has different tastes and things that they like. So here is our beautiful hummus board. I hope that you guys are excited to try this. I always love to hear or see your pictures, so be sure that you're sharing those. You can share those in my recipe community, and if you didn't catch it earlier, to access the recipe community, go to theflipflopchef.com, click the button at the top of the page to subscribe, and you'll have access to this recipe and thousands more, and every Friday I have a giveaway. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and that's all I have for you today, but I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye guys.